All right, hello everyone. This is Miss Ashley, and I am showing you how to walk through the pages for the assisted packet, and this is for day 3 of the assisted packet. So here we go. All right, we'll start with this one. This is the reading page. I guess it's reading and writing. We're going to do some more beginning sounds. So we're going to start with our name, of course. All right, and then we're gonna write or trace the beginning sounds of each word. So we're gonna start with some goldfish. Goldfish starts with G, 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 goldfish. Then we have M for music, music. M makes the sound. All right, we have another M. I believe this is for magnets. Magnets. Then we have P for Play-Doh. Play-Doh. We have another P for pretzels. Pretzels. We have another P for puzzle. Puzzle. Then we have an S for scooter. Scooter. And then we have another S. I believe that's for slime, maybe. Slime. All right, that is it for that page. All right, now we have a cut and sort the items page. So I'll start with our name. All right, so in this column, we're gonna sort bubbles. In this column, we're gonna sort Play-Doh. So you're gonna wanna have scissors. Well, I can get my paper here. All right, so I'm gonna start by turning my paper this way. I'm gonna cut the bottom part off. And then I'm gonna cut all the extra space off. It's one real big thing we focus on in class when we use scissors is cutting all that extra space off. Staying on the line, since a lot of our friends don't pay attention or they want to cut as fast as possible. So we definitely like to work on those skills of staying focused and being safe and cutting on the lines with our scissors. Okay. All right, I'm gonna kind of mix them up. All right, and I still do not have glue at my house, so you'll just have to watch me place them on the paper, and then at home you can glue. All right, so remember this side is bubbles, this side is Play-Doh. All right, this is Play-Doh, so that's gonna go in this column. These are bubbles, so that will go in this column. Whoops. We have bubbles again. Play-Doh. Play-Doh again. And bubbles again. All right, so there we have our bubbles and our Play-Doh. If your student has this packet, there's a good chance that that your student is working on those scissor skills or gluing skills or or even just completing a simple task independently without assistance. So just keep those things in mind as your student is doing some of this work. A lot of times it might look easy, but we have to remember that a lot of times this might be aimed more at their fine motor skills, such as writing their name or cutting and gluing. So just keep that in mind. All right, and we have one more page. We have some more cutting. We are going to cut and paste the numbers. So we're going to do some counting. Once again, we'll start with our name. Speaking of helping your student write their name, one thing you could do is you could write their name in pencil and then have your student trace their name with a crayon, or you could help them do it with hand-over-hand assistance. So that's always something you can do. And another way to practice those fine motor skills would be to have them color the pictures. All right, so we're going to cut the numbers out. Once again, practicing cutting those lines and cutting all the extra space off so it's nice and neat. I'm looking at what I'm doing through my phone, so if I'm going a little slow, that's why. Okay. And another big thing I work on is a lot of times our kids, they cut things out and then they kind of leave it a jumbled mess, or like things will be flipped over. And then when they go to do the paper, they're going, they're like, where is it? Where is it? Or, it's just not setting them up to be successful. So one big thing we work on is cutting, but then also organizing our pieces in a way that they are easy to look at and in a way that we can, teach them, organizational skills. All right. And even though we do have those numbers already there for us, we do still want to reinforce the counting skills, of course. So we are going to count each one. You can always count and have your student copy after you, or you can count together. You can even take their hand over hand with their finger and have them, help them touch each one as we're counting. Sorry, I realized for the past 2 days of work, I didn't do a good job of explaining some different, modifications and things that you could do at home with your students. So I'm trying to make sure I do that this time. And from here on out with NTI work. So, okay, here we go. So we're going to start with counting the Play-Doh. So we have one Play-Doh. So we're going to find the number 1. And like I said, I don't have glue, so your student can glue, but I will just be placing them on. So we're going to put on the number 1. So we have 1 Play-Doh. All right, then we're going to count the Legos. Here we go. 1. And actually, I'm going to take my pen just to help visually show you. So we had 1 Play-Doh. Here we go. Let's count the Legos. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Play-Dohs. So we're going to find that number 5 and match the 5. All right, now we'll count the iPads. It says 6 iPads, so let's see if it's correct. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are really good opportunities to help your student work on that one-to-one correspondence. So make sure we're not touching things over and over, and make sure we're building good foundational skills for counting and using that one-to-one as we count, counting one thing at a time. All right, so I'm going to find in the number 6. All right, moving on to the bubbles. Also, sometimes depending on, where Miss Phillips and I get some of our work from, sometimes something is misprinted. So I always, or even if we get to like the last one and we only have one piece left, well, we always have to double check and make sure everything's correct, or there's something might be printed wrong or something. So we always want to encourage them, instead of just trying to finish it as fast as possible, taking our time and actually making sure we're doing it correctly. All right, let's count the bubbles. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 sets of bubbles. All right, then we have puzzles. So count the puzzles. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 puzzles. All right, then the last one is exercise balls. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's that? We have that funky 4. That's another thing we have to kind of watch out for when we see those 4s, because they have to know that this is a 4 and that this is also a 4. Kind of the same with the letter A. We see funky A's sometimes depending on what we're doing. All right, so we have 4 exercise balls, and and if your student wants, they are welcome to color the pictures. They don't have to, but they definitely can if they need something extra to do. So all right, that is it for day 3, and that is the assisted packet. We will hopefully we don't have day 4 anytime soon, at least till after winter break, but we shall see. So everybody, hope this was helpful, and enjoy your NTI day.